So this started with a simple question. What happens if a level 1 walks into a warzone with nothing but a submarine? There's no armor, no fancy weapons, no backup, just the CEO registration and the Kosatka and a stolen sedan. Or actually a bunch of stolen sedans. So the plan was to do it always on a full session, but it was proven so hard to get CEO, VIP access, MC Club, whatever, on a full session because everyone is registered. So I had to settle for at least 25 plus players. So this one had somewhere in between 26 to 28. So that had to do. I wasn't really trying to win. I was trying to see what the lobby would do. Would they hunt me down, ignore me, help me? And turns out that nothing really happened. Or a few things happened, but nothing major really happened. And this is what this video it's all about. So hello everyone, welcome to another video. My name is Bishop and I'm your host, part-time narrator, a full-time liability, and this is your friendly reminder that a forest cake, it's not made of trees. For you missed the chocolate for the chantilly. I don't know how I write these things. So this is Granny Lada and she's gonna be the level 1 for this session. She's our boo. I already had the money, so this wasn't really about the grind. It was about the access. Level 1, it's kind of hard to register as a CEO in a public session because every spot is filled. So I had to go into a private session, register, and then switch back. And I had to do this a couple of times. Eventually it worked, and I was able to kickstart Cayo Perico. So I didn't buy a Sparrow on purpose. So I had to swim everywhere, kind of drive everywhere, and I did this on purpose because I wanted to be exposed. I wanted to be an obvious target with no snacks, no armor, just a stubborn level 1 just trying to find their way through Los Santos. The dinghy was gone on the first strike. That chat player lit me up and kind of never came back after that if it wasn't for my submarine. After he destroyed the submarine, he just went on his way. He just wanted to get me rid of the session or something, I don't know. And I parked it away from the beach as well because right off it would seem like people would notice and it would make it a much more obvious target, and I didn't want to be calling it all the time. Maybe I should have, because everyone was just so passive. Nobody cared too much except for that one dude with the jet, and there was also another one. I'll check in a second. Everything I used after this was stolen, so cars, bikes, whatever I could grab. So one more thing, no, there was no glitches, no exploits. We always play clean. We always play this clean. And there was also no planning. So I just did the missions one by one from top to bottom. So the moment I hit CEO, there was no alerts, no death squads like people usually put on YouTube and everything. That guy on a jet flew by, blew me up. There was another oppressor after that, and then silence. I expected a wee bit more of a pushback, but what I got was just indifference. And nobody messaged, nobody reacted, no one helped, no one did anything. So I just went all gas, no brakes. I just rushed through the setup as fast as I could because I was just trying to see if I could do this like super fast. So I'm not going to bore you with all the thing about where to scope in Cayo Perico. We've done this like a million times. And I'm not going to go into detail on how to do all this setup. This is not what this video is all about. It's more about the constant paranoia that it was to try to do this on a public session and always watching the mini-map, always expecting someone to dive in or, I don't know, just gank or just repeatedly kill me. I think that because I didn't go after anyone, people didn't really go after me, or maybe it was just this session. But I wouldn't say that this is enjoying the game because honestly, I was waiting for impact at every single moment. And then that tension of constantly pulling up the minimap, it was just driving me a little bit crazy. But I suppose that's the tension of a public lobby. It's not the bullets, it's the maybe. You can hear the explosions and whatnot, but you just try to steer clear. But it just messes around with you a little bit. Anyways, when it comes to the grind, the dinghies was gone, right? And because I never reload the session, I don't think I got access to it ever again. It was just ridiculous. I wanted to use the dinghies back and forth from the submarine, but then I had to swim, and then after a while I just started drowning myself just so I could respawn on land because it was just like too painful to just go around swimming. We did another challenge where we don't use any vehicles. You can, oh, sorry banana, you can check that on the channel, But for the most part, I just didn't want to waste too much time just traveling back and forth. So the sub-loading times were brutal when you use the bottom axis for some reason. So if you use the top axis, they're fine. This really didn't feel like a challenge. It felt more like waiting game. In between missions, I just had to wait a lot for the loading times, and it was just excruciating. And I remember now why people just go on private sessions to do this. The fingerprint cloner mission killed me a few times, but the rest was pretty much straightforward. And it's also there because I just rushed in and I just played very, very loosely. So there was no runaway, there was no issues, just kind of slow and blend. And since I had no cars of my own, I just had to go around, check everything. So kept using other people's cars, which is fine. It didn't really matter. Now the Vellum worked way better than I thought it was going to be. So I took off from Sandy Shores and no one cared. No one noticed. I honestly expected a swarm of annoying mosquitoes just trying to get the Vellum down. I thought I was going to... Nope, nothing. I just flew straight to the airport. No one cared. It was all quiet, weirdly kind of quiet. And that's what stuck. No jets, no helicopters. And keep in mind, this is still a 25+ player session. So the heist itself. We went solo. We did this 50 million times by now. So there was no disguises at the hangar. So I had to go with the old favorite. Jack a water motor something, boat, whatever, and go through the drainage pipe. If you've seen my other guides, I think you know the route, so I'm not going to go too much in detail. Like I mentioned before, it really doesn't matter what you do, because by this time the challenge-ish was done, which is what would happen if I was just trying to do this on a public session. It also doesn't really matter what loot you grab. You can grab all cash, because it's all going to be evened out once you go into the save. 50k's pocket change these days. In and out, Elite did the job and left. So how much did this cost me? 2.2 for the sub. I did spend 420 blaze it for the clubhouse, because I was trying to get help with the boss registration. It didn't really help much. And I got 1.5 million take. So I lost 1.1 million in this experiment. That was not that bad. You get to go from level 1 to 7. And that's it. Flew the Vellum back to LS. And it didn't feel like much of a risk. So, in reflection, so what does this prove? I'm really not sure. I think maybe people are too busy grinding to care about what's happening around them. And unless you make a point yourself to get in a mosquito or jet and intentionally go after people in PvP, I think that pretty much everyone is just doing their own thing. So maybe public lobbies aren't really the war zones we make them out to be, but maybe it was just this particular lobby and that was quieter, and because no one was engaging in PvP, everyone else was just start minding their own business. So a higher percentage of minding their own beeswax grinders had been on that public session. I think that's the thing. There's always going to be a risk, and of course it's kind of manageable, and you don't really have to do this on a public session. If you're a new player, yes, you can do this. Do you want to? Kind of not. I think you can just go on a private session and spare yourself some mini-map paranoia. Still, it's kind of nice to prove that it's possible to do this even without gear and without a Sparrow, without snacks, but we've done this a million times before. You will take 2 hours of your time for the first run. This is about my gameplay time on this one, and you should be able to shave this on the next few runs. If you're doing this solo and get access to 2.2 million, this is a decent way to start. You can do clucking bell while waiting for Mr. Rubio to restock or something. You can keep grinding for your Sparrow. So that's all it takes, really. Now, if you're still around, I got a question for you. Should I do this again? This time with a Sparrow or something? I don't know. Would it make me look more like a threat? What would make me look like a feasible threat? So let me know in the comment section below. Or maybe try something different. I don't know. Drop me a comment. I appreciate you being in here. Anyways, that's going to be it for me. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks so much for riding shotgun. We'll chat again soon. Until then, mind yourselves and take care. Bye-bye.